Hey guys, today we have the seasonal balance patch for Etheria Restart, the PvP focused gacha game that we're all playing. I can't wait to see what they are cooking in the oven because I'm sure you're probably tired of Plume Ray Mary being absolutely dominating in every single match at this point. And also a little shout out to the Amber Shell, right? So the dev team will carefully listen to every player's voice and we need to work together to create an even more fascinating world of Etheria. Which means they can take feedback, right? We work together. So first, it's going to be the Animus related adjustment based on their performance and current overall strength. Okay, first one we got Hellkit, or people like to call Helmet at this point, because he's not really being used anywhere. And in Champions Call, the betting event, he always lose. That's very funny because I see Hellkit and I know which one to not vote for in Champions Call. So Hellkit cannot get crit on if the unit has low attack. So Hellkit is usually built with triple attack, which means it's going to be a bit harder to kill this unit, especially with how strong crit damage are in this game. So the shield on Hellkit is probably going to be very strong on Hellkit himself because you can't crit him. And when Shroud Barrier expire, it will boost turn meter by 20% and not 15%. So I wonder if it's going to be enough to make this guy good, because Hellkit is like a fake bruiser kind of thing because he needs to be built with attack, which means if you break the shield, he will be pretty weak. But if the shield is on, he's very tanky, and now he's going to be even tankier. And he's pretty good against probably like turn 1 CC player if you build him really fast and you buff the thing and you combine with auto buff as well so they can't strip your buff. Then it's very hard to CC player with a very good Hellkit. So I'm not sure about Hellkit in Bruiser Mirror. You don't really see that very often. So I would note this down as a nerf to CC player. Because if he goes first and I can't kill him and he buff immunity, I'm kind of cooked, right? Next up, we have Mia. Ooh, I've been using her a little bit here and there because you kind of need a strip with no debuff to counter Reaper Step. So her buff will be, she will shorten debuff by 2 turns. So a lot of debuff are 2 turns, like defense break are mostly 2 turns, so she will take defense break away. But I wish that she can just shorten CC as well. That's gonna be great so that you can deal with like the counter stun from Ray Mary a bit easier. But this is more like a Bruiser Mirror buff, I think, because if you go turn 1, you only care about her skill cooldown reduction and you don't really care about the cleansing because they're not moving anyway. And you care about the strip landing, the strip pushing back more turn meter, or the strip providing any buff. But none of that got touched, so I would say this is like a Bruiser Mirror kind of buff right there. So personally for me, I don't really care about that. So with contacts, I play Control, a bit Cleave-ish with like AoE damage deal like Rosa, Yelly, that kind of stuff. So I will say, I will look at the balance patch from my POV, okay? If you look for a Bruiser player POV, you want to look at Brad reaction for this one. Next, we have Kokardi. So I don't really use this character because I don't have the lattice to invest in him. If I do have the lattice, then I would probably invest into him because he's another great AoE damage dealer. But I don't and never will probably because you are always playing catch up with the next batch of unit. And even with the next batch of unit, you're always deciding which of the two you want to build and you ignore the other one. And for Kokardi, I had to ignore him because I don't have the lattice. I have to build a bit into Aya to counterpick my counterplay. So probably never will use him because I just don't have the investment. Base speed improvement is great, but I'm not sure how this is going to change in Bruiser Mirror because a bit of speed, I don't think it's going to matter that much. And for turn 1 player who invests into him, that's going to be great for them to speed tune their Kokardi a bit easier. Lian buff. Oh, okay. For each kind of buff Lian has, the damage is increased by 8%. I'm not sure how that's going to help, but maybe for early game, okay? Because nobody used Lian, nobody want to invest into this character yet. Maybe with a couple more buffs, she will be relevant. But her skill 2 would now deal 5 attack instead of 4 on random enemy. That's the thing I don't like because I want my damage to be where I want it to be. Random is just not very fun and is only good when there are less enemy. But the problem with that is when the Phoenix hits the same target, the damage is reduced by 20%. Like, does she even need that, to be honest? Most boss stages have like the 2 thing next to them, so the damage doesn't even go to the boss most of the time. So that is probably her problem pretty much. And her skill 3 can deal a bit more damage now, but they don't change anything about the turn meter. I really want to build this character, to be honest, because steel turn meter in this game is not very popular. The kit doesn't have it. Most of the unit doesn't have like turn meter reduction or turn meter steal, and with the new ditting, it's even harder to do so when they draft that character. I wish she steal more and I can draft her as like a last pick, but the problem is that if you want to counter CC, you run ambush on your bruiser, so they literally can't kill you unless you are dealing with cleave. But you deal with CC, you just run amber, and most of the damage dealer don't have wound debuff, the heal block debuff, and she is another character that has 0 counterplay when they proc amber. You just kind of sit there and wait for them to get out of amber and one-shot your damage dealer, and that is pretty much it. So probably not going to build this character because, once again, who the fuck has lattice to build these OG character, right? Rosa. Invested in Rosa since day 1. So a debuff allow her to deal a bit more damage. Her default attack will deal a bit more damage. So overall, she deal more damage with her default attack by a whole lot. And the skill 3 will now land a slow a bit easier because it goes from 40% to 60%. And if you max to Rosa like me, you have a bit more accuracy, so you land a slow debuff quite consistently. Overall, it's cool. It's like a small damage buff. It doesn't really change how the unit function, so it's not very exciting, to be honest, because damage buff is cool, I guess, you know. It's really hard to use Rosa in PvP anyway, because once again, they proc amber, you have no counterplay. So I always kind of just use double wound unit. So if they pre-ban Mio and they pick Hendrik, you have 0 wound. You have to play Sutamu, which is very inconsistent, and then you kind of cooked. If they run a lot of amber, which they do anyway. We have Ninfoniel being buffed as well. Oh, that's a lot of change to Ninfoniel right there. So she will first purify and then heal, which is great to deal with heal block. Great. Ninfoniel will cleanse 2 to 3 debuff of all allies. She used to cleanse 1. Okay, very exciting. Love it. More cleansers. And then she will now apply defense buff as well. Wow. So if you bring Bruiser, she buff defense. If you bring damage deal, she buff attack. Very good. Very flexible buffer right there. And her special buff now changed to increase damage. Wow. That just wow, to be honest. A great Bruiser mirror character right there. You have extra damage, very aggressive buffer, can cleanse a lot of debuff, can heal, can buff defense when you need defense. Just amazing. Incredible. And when I fight this character, for those who have built them, they can cleanse even more debuff. Oh my god, I can't wait. So many new cleanser coming this patch. Incredible. Next up, we have a CC buff. Okay, Batsby will now do 25% more damage per debuff. You know what? That's kind of crazy, to be honest. That is straight up insane damage boost for this character because it's per debuff. So if you run like Mio, Han, Nahor, you have like 5 debuff on them. You do way more damage. It's pretty crazy. And if Batsby hit fire unit, then he does 40% instead of 30%. That is just nasty. Big damage from Batsby. But, oh my god. Which means I have to invest in him. I didn't put a single lattice because who the fuck has lattice? Right? In his patch, it was Ninfoniel and a lot of old character to be built. So I had to invest it in Ninfoniel for PvE. And I ignored this guy. Can be pretty good though. And he also gained more turn meter. But this is like if you max skill, by the way, for the skill 3. Bigger base speed as well, easier speed tuning for CC calm, damage dealing calm, that kind of thing. But oh my god, this might be really, really good damage dealer for CC cleave player. But he has to be invested from 0 though. That is a big problem, man. That is a big problem. Maybe if I just maxed out, I don't know, skill 1, that's gonna give me the most value for the passive. That should be enough. Maybe max skill 1 is gonna be enough because I don't really need the speed anyway from the skill 3. So I'll think about it. Seems very interesting though. For this guy in particular. Kloss. Wait, Kloss? The unit that got power curved by Plume in PvE? So Kloss will now increase damage taken by 35% instead of 25% and decrease damage dealt by another 5%, so 45%. Pretty good. I like that a lot. So makes her a way more valuable unit for PvE. If you're still using her, you can stack her with Plume as well. If you want to, they will do like shitty damage to you, right? With the Plume debuff and the Kloss debuff, they do like very bad damage. And then her skill 1 will now have a 100% chance to land the hack in progress, but you build this unit with max accuracy anyway. I'm not sure if this means anything. Her skill 2 will also 100% chance to land 1 stack of hack in progress. And her skill 3, oh no, that's just the skill 1, skill 2. I'm not sure if these means anything because in this game you build more accuracy, you make this 70% number to like 100. So this is like a fake buff kind of thing. And nobody uses thing in PvP as of now. So I'm not sure if it's going to change anything, but this will help a lot in PvE if you're using this character in PvE, especially against bosses in hard PvE content where they do a lot of damage. Then let's say you can stack Plume and her, then you decrease their damage by a whole lot. Nevette, oh my god, max skill Nevette user right here. Deal 3 hit of a bit more damage boost. That's it. That's it. No extra debuff. No nothing. No self buffing. Just good old tiny damage boost. How is Batsby getting so much and then this girl get like this? Oh my god. Hoyan. Oh my god, Hoyan can ignore defense now, just like the original skill set that we saw in the beta. So Hoyan can ignore 8% of target defense, I think per HP loss, something like that. That's pretty cool, so that she can potentially one-shot people at 1-1-1. And that is mostly Yelly, and that is mostly for me to deal with because I don't pick Hoyan, right? People who fight me pick Hoyan. And I'm pretty sure she's gonna one-shot every CC unit on no Bloodbath. This is pretty much telling every CC player to put Bloodbath on your unit, because if you don't, you just get one shot. I mean, you get one shot by 20 other billion things anyway. It's just another thing that's gonna one shot you or me. DokiDoki. All right, I don't want to read, man. I just, this unit, I pre-ban it every match. Pre-buff. So now the buff will change from color blue to gold. Okay, I'm not exactly sure what this means. Like, can I still block this thing? Can I? It can't be stripped anyway. Does it mean I can't block it? Was she that bad? Like, she's so scary because you can build on Alicorn, cleanse yourself, boom, you cleanse everything. Anyway, so her exclusive buff will now purify all debuff. Yes, I drink matcha. The new SSR guy cleanse all debuff. The new Awakened Sania cleanse all debuff. New Ninfoniel cleanse up to 3 debuff. DokiDoki cleanse all debuff. Love it, man. I can't wait. I can't fucking wait to never let her in a match again and play against Ray Mary all the time. So sometimes I pre-ban Ray Mary. Sometimes I pre-ban DokiDoki. I would never pre-ban Ray Mary again. I just have to pre-ban this character. That is wow. And now we have Turandot with the skill sequence change. She will now dispel and apply turn meter decrease. But the thing that people used to want, I think Vulcan used to want, was she dispel turn 1 instead of buffing. But they don't really do any of that. Funny enough. The adjustment below will be for Shell. Wow, no Ray Mary, no Plume. The 2 most popular character, Ray Mary being extra pre-ban, the 2 character that is in every single arena defense, the 2 character that everybody talks about get not a small change because nerf equal reset event, right? And they don't want to do that, so they will never do that, no matter how broken the character is. And they will just introduce more broken character in the future to potentially counter the current broken character, pretty much. And I think the buff to me that I get excited for would probably be Batsby, and the one that's not listed here, RC77 Awakening. Because other than that, I can't fucking wait to play with new cleansers and pretty much stronger bruiser in general. And I get Nevette buff. Wow, very exciting. Rosa buff, mind-blowing. A bit better for PvE, I guess. And that's about it. Shell. Shell. First, we got White Fang. So 8 to 10%, which means a total of 80% crit damage boost. I think it's alright. You know, White Fang is okay for long fight. Probably better than Count, for example. Count is better for like super short fight. You burst, or like the Tiger Yin is also very good for short fight. Now you can use either White Fang or the Golden Lion for long fight. Dark Moon will now buff accuracy in the first turn by 100%, which is great. This is like double insight. So this will help counteract the super ultra res. But my Neho already at 300 accuracy with insight. And I still miss from time to time. I don't think having more accuracy will solve that problem because there's an innate 10% resist anyway. But this will help unit that I usually not build with accuracy at all, or not a lot of accuracy, like Celine's, Lilith, or other unit that could potentially use this character like Born can potentially enjoy this 100% accuracy a whole lot for that one turn when they need to land their stuff in the first turn, and then they use Gaze to gain accuracy frequently, which is great. But personally, I don't really use this one for pretty much anything. Also, this is very good for like Freya, for example. Freya with a lot of more accuracy in the first turn is very important. Lot of Silence will now reduce to 3 turns to get back to the void state, which is great. But I think the only character in Lot of Silence I see is Lilium. And usually I see Lilium on Lot of Silence mean it's probably going to be on Bloodbath and do shitty damage. So probably not really important. And Void increase her res to 100%. But then Lilium doesn't really have res anyway. And accuracy unit will have a lot of accuracy. So I'm not sure if this is going to mean anything. Ouroboros will now gain more damage for the user and more speed, up to 7 stacks. So that's a lot of damage boost and speed boost. And this is going to be like a great bruiser mirror shell. Artisan getting a nerf. The apply shield amount equals to 300% of self-defense instead of 400% of self-defense. Nerf Artisan and not Amber. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. Wow. Artisan, by the way. I mean, Artisan is really strong. I don't think it needs a nerf, right? It's not broken. You expect what it happens. You can expect what will happen with Artisan. It's gonna get more defense. It has counterplay, like buff block, that kind of thing. It's not like crazy, you know. I love fighting Artisan, which means they're not gonna be on Bulwark. I love it, and they're gonna be slow as well, but it can be on Strive though. That can be a bit scary. But Artisan and not oh my god, dude. People are gonna be so pissed, man. I can already see. People are gonna be so pissed. What are you guys doing? I just don't get it. I just don't get it. No direct answer to any of the most broken complaint thing in the meta. They're going like the roundabout way, which is like the safe route, because if you nerf any of the LD premium character, the whale is gonna complain like crazy because they put money to P5 them character, all that kind of stuff. So they're so scared of doing that. They don't want to do any of that. But for Shell, they nerf Codex and Revelation. For the other side, they nerf Artisan now. Maybe next time they're gonna nerf Amber. I don't know. Because they don't really introduce any new heal block unit. We barely have any new turn meter control unit. So I don't know, man. I don't know.